Executive orders and the pardons. KTVU political analyst Brian Sobel once again with us. President Trump here pardoning nearly 1,600 January 6 defendants. Is he trying to rewrite the history of that attack, or is there even maybe a deeper message he is sending on what is day one?
Well, I think he initially said, and very early, that he would pardon these convicted folks if he got into office. I think what we saw through all of these actions today, we heard about on the campaign trail. And he is one by one ticking them off, for better or worse, however people feel about him. So he's just fulfilling what he said he would do. And one of the things he said he would do is pardon those people who were involved at the Capitol.
Brian, also the president has been focused on border security and immigration. Could U.S. troops be directly involved at the southern border?
I don't really think so. I think what's going to happen is we have a border agency, border control agency, who would take the lead. I don't know how the U.S. military would fit into that situation. A lot of this, I think, is some symbolism, frankly. And we'll see how this transpires. We see already tonight lawsuits, at least one major one on the birthright. I think you're going to see many, many of those coming. But you know, going back to the pardons for a moment, former President Biden also pardoned a lot of people on his way out. It begs the question.
Family members.
Yep. It begs the question, you know, around the issue of these pardons that these presidents are doing in what seem like greater numbers, along with executive orders. Donald Trump had, you know, dozens and dozens of executive orders today, but so did Joe Biden. So did Donald Trump before that. So did Barack Obama. It's a trend now that is, I think, disconcerting. I understand that they want to get a jump on their agenda, but it actually moves around Congress. And that's problematic because then Congress has to come back and try to deal with it.
Let me ask you about Congress, because 8 years ago it was Paul Ryan. You know, now it's Speaker Johnson. How important is Trump's relationship with the current House Speaker and what he's trying to get done, especially, you know, I mean, he's on the clock here with the midterms just 2 years away.
Absolutely. His relationship with Johnson has to be solid. I think it is. And I think they're going to be in concert around many, many pieces of legislation, just like he is with Thune on the Senate side for all of the confirmations of his cabinet nominees. He's got the control.
But a narrow control.
Not only narrow, but I always say the Democrats and the Republicans in Congress are not monolithic. They all have to go back and talk to their constituencies, who are all different. I mean, a California Republican is not a Mississippi Republican.
A little different.
A whole different thing. Yeah. And that's a good thing because on all sides of the aisle, because it means that we get vigorous debate over issues.
Brian, how do you think the Democrats are going to respond to all this, and who do you think will lead the Democrats?
Well, that's a very interesting question, Amber. I think the first thing that's going to happen are these lawsuits and other things, but I think you're also going to see Democrats attempt to some extent to try to work with the Republicans. You saw the vote for Marco Rubio today, 99-0 as Secretary of State. I think that's the Democrats' way of saying, hey, you bring us the right person, we're in. You don't bring us the right person, we have a right to fight about that. And so I think you're going to see the Democrats pick their spots and then wait and try to find a candidate that in a couple of years can start emerging nationally.
We got to go, but I got one for the road, because I want to go back to January 6th, because on that day, 4 years ago, there are millions of Americans out there who thought, Donald Trump's never coming back to Washington after this day. He's back tonight. How did he do it? If you had one thing to say, how did he get back?
I think he spoke to the American people about things they were concerned about, in particular, the economy and immigration. All of the stuff around immigration, all the fears and everything else, all legitimate. But Americans were very concerned about it on a national level.
All right, Brian, always appreciate the conversation.
Absolutely.
Thanks for joining us,
Absolutely.
Brian. Our coverage of President Donald Trump's inauguration.